Overall 4 story 4 animation 5 sound 8 character 4 enjoyment 8. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a flying grandpa. Perhaps it's rather counterintuitive to even mention this, considering how much we actively consume as fans of this medium, but anime is strange. It's a medium in which vigorously seems to try and go against societal norms, a medium not afraid to cover taboo or heavy topics such as incest or depression, and covers a myriad of different ideas and themes that if someone were looking for something incredibly specific from a piece of media, they'd probably find their incredibly niche want within anime. This is the main reason why I choose to persist as much as I do within this medium, not only since I enjoy strange pieces of media to begin with, but also because I can get stories and concepts in anime that I can't get anywhere else, such as Hybain Renmei and the Tatami Galaxy, to just name a few. I'm always looking out for something that is incredibly bizarre, something to fill that sensation I have to watch weird shit, and the people over at MAPPA gave me what I was indeed looking for in the form of Inuyashiki, aka Flying Grandpa Simulator, a show in which a 58-year-old grandpa becomes a cyborg, with a multitude of different abilities, one of which being flight, as he becomes a vigilante of justice, protecting the weak, and curing people of their disease. Inuyashiki is a strange series, and one in which I'm not quite sure where the writers were going with this story. For what I believe was supposed to be a moralistic battle against good and evil while presenting ideas of what it means to be human instead devolves into full-blown dumb slop, and I loved every second of it. Don't get me wrong, this show is bad. Quite bad in fact. But Inuyashiki has become one of my favorite guilty pleasures in anime, with a concept and aesthetic so silly that I can't take any of it seriously, even when it's clear I am supposed to at times. Allow me to elaborate. Inuyashiki Ichiro, our senior male fantasy empowerment for this tale, laugh track at my totally original and clever joke, is not exactly having the greatest of times. Aside from looking much older than he actually is, his entire family resents him, for seemingly no reason. He has no affection with his wife, as they sleep in different rooms of the house, and his children also give him no time of day at all. To make matters worse, Inuyashiki receives unfortunate news that he has got terminal cancer, and, feeling that he can't tell anybody about this, keeps it to himself, suffering in silence all the more than before. After a trip to the park to cry alone, suddenly, aliens. For no reason, and without any explanation at all, aliens accidentally kill both Inuyashiki and a man standing next to him, our main antagonist for this tale, Hiro, who just so happens to be standing next to him for some reason, but whatever. Realizing their mistake, the aliens then rebuild both men, turning them into cyborgs in the process. While Inuyashiki uses his newly found powers for good, Hiro uses it for murder, as the rest of the series sees Hiro running from the police and becoming a bigger threat, with Inuyashiki trying to find him with the help of Ando, the once friend of our villain, who wishes to stop his murderous cyborg pal, leading to Inuyashiki's and Hiro's inevitable fight at the end. Flying Grandpa Simulator is fundamentally a tale of good versus evil, with each character's respective ideologies being as basic as they come. Inuyashiki is the good guy, Hiro is the bad guy. While they do try and provide some introspection into Hiro's character and the reason why he kills, which I'll get into a little bit later in this review, this basic setup is what allows Inuyashiki to be so damn senseless and fun. Flying Grandpa's narrative is incredibly silly and over the top. But there was not a single moment in the entire show where I was bored and not laughing my ass off at how ridiculous the show could get at times, with the basic good versus evil narrative providing an amusing framework for all the stupid shit that happens in the show. That acted as an incentive for me to keep watching, just to see what the writer would think up next, and he never failed to entertain me on that front. The show is constantly trying to one-up itself every step of the way, with the narrative becoming more and more cheesy and ludicrous as it goes along, with Hiro proclaiming that he will kill everyone in Japan and even beginning to see through on this proclamation as he takes to the city buildings, and from there, kills hundreds, with his finger banging being the icing on the slop-filled cake. The anime is all over the place, and the pacing in particular is so fast, that it actually works in favor of the show from an entertainment standpoint. One moment we see Inuyashiki flying through the skies accompanied with silly cartoon slapstick music, and then the very next episode we see him infiltrate a Yakuza hideout, blind every single person there, and leave completely shirtless. Not to mention that, in the start of that very same episode, a Yakuza boss walks into a sauna completely naked and forces another guy to suck his dick. Inuyashiki's narrative is all over the place, and while it meander in the early parts of the series, with episodes that don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, I found each one to be incredibly entertaining, especially if, like me, you enjoy dumb slop. Even just all the little strange details the show includes makes it so enjoyable to watch as a piece of slack for me, such as in the case of the cyborg bodies of both Inuyashiki and Hiro. Not only is the prospect of seeing an old shirtless man flying through the air incredibly funny to me, but the fact that this body, which was created by aliens, includes a USB port under one of the fingernails in order to connect it to an iPhone is such a fucking stupid thing to include, that I burst out laughing when it happened. Additionally, both Inuyashiki and Hiro can fingerbang people to death by just